This is Bob Balch from Fu Manchu, and you're watching Aftershock TV.
Yeah, it's all right. All right, so I know you got one last topic that we have.
I do,
here
and this
before we wrap
might be
things up.
quick. This might not. Can you undo this poster thing so I can put something up?
Undo the one that's on there right now.
Yeah.
You mean? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. 1 second. Yeah, sorry. All right, go for it.
All right. So this is sort of in that vein of what we were talking about bands and are they important or not.
Mm-hmm.
I've been getting more and more of these bands lately.
Okay.
I call them never was bands.
Okay.
And to be clear about this, I am not dissing any guys for trying to make a go of it.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, there has to be a cutoff, I think, for a band where you've been doing it, it's never hit, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that bands at some point should be forced out? And I'm going to put this band up, and again, I am not slamming this.
Sure.
I don't know. Are you aware at all of this band, Sirius Black?
I am not.
Okay. Plays right into my thing.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a taste of Sirius Black, and then I'm going to tell you their story quickly, and then you tell me if A, they should hang it up, and B, if every band like them should hang it up. Okay. And there's a reason I'm asking this question. So let me give you 30, 40 seconds of these guys.
All right.
The time has come, together we are one, all voices of the world will be united.
Just want to get to a little bit of vocal.
Our times full of fighting and dangerous suspense have torn us apart. It's time for a change, leaving darkness behind. We take all our hearts and together we find where we're taking.
All right, that's enough for you to get a
All
feel.
right, yeah.
You got a feel of what they are.
I sure
All
did.
right.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
I'm obviously they're European.
Yes.
Now, here's the story on these guys. Before you make your call on this,
Okay.
this band has been putting out records since 2014.
Okay.
They're signed. They're on AFM.
I see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Decent label.
Mm-hmm.
They've put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're coming up on their 7th full-length record.
Wow. Okay.
Plus a ton of singles mixed in between.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, the band was an offshoot of Roland from Halloween.
Okay.
You know, he started. He is, of course, no longer in the band.
Mm-hmm.
The band is a bunch of dudes that are in a bunch of bands that have never mattered
Okay.
even in Euro metal. It's
Okay.
all bands like Third Moon. I'm looking to see any of these names that I even recognize. Captain Hawk. Yeah, you know,
Don't know any of those bands. but
Angel
okay.
of Eden, Freedom Call.
Jeez. Okay.
You know,
I get it. I know what you mean. Yeah.
it's a super group of unsuper groups.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my question to you, where's the cutoff? I know you never want to tell people to, not
Stop.
be creative, stop. They're not putting out shit per se.
Mm-hmm.
It's very average in my opinion. And
Oh,
I know you only
generic.
heard a minute.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's never going to take over the world. There's zero chance any of this is ever going to become Iron Maiden
Mm-hmm.
or whatever band, whoever the biggest band in the Dream Theater or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to happen. Like I said, they've been around now since 2014, 10 years. Where's the cutoff? Do you tell them now? No.
My question is this: who is listening to them to begin with?
No one. That's my point. My point is this band is 10 years old on a legitimate label. You,
what I'm saying.
who's in the business, has never heard of them.
Not. No, I have no way.
So if you haven't heard of them and you're in the business, what do you think the average people are?
Well, it's different because, like you said, it's European, right? It's got that European, brothers of metal, like we stand united.
yeah.
I say like that stuff.
Yeah.
I know. I guess it's that that sort of Man-O-War crowd or whatever that likes that. I get, it's. I don't know.
I get that too, but they ain't one of them.
No, of course not. We've. I mean, how many of these fucking press releases have we gotten
A zillion.
with these type of bands? Just like
Yeah.
we just heard, Sirius Black, right?
Yeah.
A ton.
Yeah. And none of them hit.
I know, but these labels still keep putting out their. I'll tell you right now, if AFM isn't signing them, putting them out, they're not going to. Then that'll get them to go away. If that's what you're asking.
This is my point. The point is and this is where I was going with this. One of the reasons no music is getting ahead is because there's too much of it.
There's too much of it. I agree.
There should not be a band with 7 albums, none of which have had a hit, here or in Europe. Look, we can name the bands that are successful in this genre. Primal Fear, Hammerfall. There's a few, but those are the big ones. Those bands keep making records because they're making noise.
Yeah.
Sirius Black, and no offense to them, the record is perfectly fine. I'm definitely not saying it's a shit record. If you like this kind of record, if you like that kind of music, it is a 7 out of 10. There's my quick down and dirty review. But my point is there's so much of this kind of shit out there that people have to weed through that they don't. And it's one of the and it's in every genre. I don't care if you're a rap fan.
Yeah.
How many rappers are there out there now?
True. Well, let's look at it this way, right? We know labels, right? They're not signing bands anymore based off the quality of their music. They're signing what's usually the main reason when bands get signed?
Fan base.
Well, that and how do they get the fan base? Because they tour.
Yeah, because they do tour. Or they're willing to tour.
And I guarantee you, this band right here, Sirius Black, they probably tour like nuts.
Yep.
And because they're willing to do that and go out there, well, there's going to be a label that's going to go, okay, you guys really work your shit. It doesn't matter about how great your music is. If it's metal, if it's got that, whatever, we'll sign it.
Yeah, and there's no real investment. I mean, what do they pay them for it? What do you think a Sirius Black gets as an advance? $5,000?
Or exactly, and we've got a lot of those bands where also the publicists just pick them up because they're willing to pay the money.
Yeah, they'll pay
the publicists. So publicists will go, sure, give us some money, we'll promote you. Yeah. So we've got to read, like you said, through all this. I guess I don't want to be mean and call them shit. It's just for me, it's not my thing.
It's not our thing. And
I did that for 5 seconds. I know right away. Boom, this is not my band.
My thing is, to the bigger point, how much is the industry being hurt by simply having too much
of this
music of any genre out there? There's so much now that you can't distinguish the good from the. You can't find a new band, because to find a really good new band,
we throw all that shit like you said.
Man,
I know.
It's the old scene from the what was that movie with breaking out of the prison? Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah.
You're swimming through a mile of shit to get to freedom, and that's what you're doing with this music. You gotta weed through an awful lot of garbage.
I know.
To find a good one.
Well, I mean, like, where is the like? Let's be honest. Okay, so let's look at it this way. When I don't even know if it's so much that there's so many bands like this, as there's too many, say, even zines, publications, whatever you want online that with this stuff. Because I mean, just think about how we used to discover underground, bands that weren't on MTV or on the radio, right? How did we discover them? Usually in magazines, right? That was a big thing. We'd read about them. Or they would open, like I said, on tour. Now, of course, labels know that, right? They still know how do people, how do they discover bands now, right? It's a lot different, right? It either pops up usually on their feeds, YouTube, on their, YouTube Music, or pops up on Spotify, right? They get thrown this shit at them.
Yeah.
All right. When you look at like your basic, I would say, fan. Now, like the real down and dirty one, the guys who go through the weeds like us, yes, it's annoying as hell because we're trying to find those new bands to get them out there to promote them. Yet when I listen, when I sit there, all right, when we get say 10 press releases between all these, per day, and we read through 10 of those, it's usually the same crap. It's either this stuff or it's stuff that's like this, or I'll even get back to the AI thing about expecting more, or we're seeing bands that are individual artists or two artists. We're not even seeing full bands because we're getting thrown this crap by, and I'm not trying to say the music's crap, but it's not a band. So let's be honest. I'm not going to promote. I don't care how good the music is.
Me either.
Have you heard how many one-man or two-men or women bands have you heard that really get to you? I mean, there's a couple of two-people bands that I've liked.
Yeah.
But nothing that blew me away. I mean, there's a couple like this one band, Astrodeath, that's really good in Australia. But even that, it really, I have a hard time listening to two-people bands, musician bands. But we get how many? Remember that press release we got, dude? I think it was like a year or so ago. It was a guy and his son, like his 10-year-old son, and who supposedly was, I mean, he wrote all the music, the guy, whatever, of course, and recorded it.
Yeah.
He says it was him and his son. All his son did was like approve of certain things. He was like more of like I like that. Okay, I'll put it in there. I mean, it's a joke. Once again,
it's
making a mockery in a way
of the
business. So if the publicists, are agreeing to accept this stuff to dilute their own name as a publicist, all right, by throwing this stuff at us, and we sit there and we waste our time listening to it because we're trying to find new stuff to promote and help out the bands and the publicists. When they're doing that, when labels are just because you tour are going, all right, well, you tour, so you'll be able to sell something. We'll put you on. The business is fucked because they're the ones they're really the, if you want to call them quote unquote gatekeepers. We take from them and put it out on our shows, right?
Sure.
But we get it from them first. That's how we have to weed through it.
Yeah.
So if they're throwing us this crap and we're getting tired of it, going, man, I'm tired of this stuff. I don't want. It makes us not want to even go through it and interview and review this stuff. Bottom line, dude.
And and look, not for nothing, but we on our side of it, and you do this. I know I do this. We pick and choose our publicists based on the quality that they give us.
Totally.
Like I
100%.
definitely have a list of 5 or 6 publicists that I will do anything that I won't even listen. If they throw me something, I had one just today that hit me up and said, hey, this is a priority for me. Would you do something with it? Without even listening to it, I threw back yep, let's set it up. Tell me when. Because I know that publicist will get me bigger stuff too. And I will work with them because I know that they generally hammer.
Exactly.
But then there's other publicists that send us 15 press releases a day.
Yep.
Here's a band. And sometimes the records are from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we promoting here?
And I know you're talking about, but it sucks is that there has been some damn good bands I've discovered through that publicist just by
me too.
By happenstance, because it was like I listened to 5 of these today. I'm like, oh shit, this is actually really good.
Yeah,
but again,
I'm the same boat, but
we've got to weed through all the shit, and it's again, I think when I'm seeing the bigger publicists though throwing me some crap, dude, that's what like gets my alarm. Because I mean, dude, back in the heyday, 90s, 80s, whatever, those publicists were not accepting that stuff.
No, not at all.
I mean, some of these things they're sending us, it sounds like it's done in their fucking bedroom.
Which
it is. Or they're just demos.
Yeah.
That they're throwing, but because they say, I'm willing to pay you a couple $100 to put this out there. Okay. And they're going to take the money because they just want to stay in business. It's just again,
what we said before, commerce ruins it all.
Exactly. It's the state of the business, and it's just exactly. And in the commerce, because we're not selling stuff is not being pushed out based off the quality. It's around everything else other than that.
Yeah, the quality is the least important.
It's the least important. I know, and that's what's killing music. Again, we need to expect more across the board. Us, the publicists, everyone needs to go. Yeah, no, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not putting my name on that. I'm not doing it. I mean, like that. How many times do we get hit up by publicists that want to push stuff that's complete garbage? That
all the time.
Hook it up for these, please, for me. I mean, I've done that a few times for people. I'm like, all right, man. I understand this is part of this game, but I don't want to do it. And I've told you my secret. I put it up for like a day and I take it down, man.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm not gonna ruin my reputation, man. Of
No, of course
putting
not.
out some crap. Or people are like, I'm not gonna go back to your site if you're gonna put this on your site or you're gonna interview this band and then you're pushing and stuff. Why are you pushing this?
Or they'll ask us to do something that makes no sense for like me. I do have 3 shows, so
yeah,
there's a lot of wiggle room there.
You do.
But when somebody hits me up for a screamo death metal jazz band, it's like, what do you think I do? And I get that a lot. Like I'll get the really bizarre stuff like that for the show, The Classic Metal Show.
Yeah.
Now, why the fuck would you look at the show, The Classic Metal Show, and think that I'm going to do a horror, deathcore, synth industrial record?
I know.
I'm not. What are you thinking?
We've got an audience, and it's a specific audience, man.
Yeah.
We cannot be putting out that stuff unless it's tied into something where we can say, well, all right, it features a band member that's a part of this band that's heavy, or all right, fine. Like I remember I was gonna, I wanted to interview the Justin Chancellor from Tool. He had this like project they did with some guy. It's like a electronic music thing. It's pure crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going to do it. Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll do it because I'll get Justin on. Oh, he can't do the interview now. But the other guy
want to talk to the other guy. Yeah, good.
This is what I say to that. No fucking way. I'm not talking
and they do that bait and switch a lot.
It is. I remember this particular publicist said, I promise this isn't a bait and switch. It's like, yeah, it is because you just basically ratted yourself out. Of course it is. I'm not dumb.
Yeah, and then you do, or then they'll say, well, if you do this one now, we'll also get Justin on later. Yeah,
well, and that's the other thing too,
sure
right?
You won't.
It's basically like you. And I get this, so we got to help all each other out. But when you come into a site or like our stuff where we don't do, like you said, black, post black metal.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Like what is that gonna? How is that gonna? Basically, connect with the audience that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if we don't do these things, some of these things, then they're like, well, you're not going to get the good artists. Again, this game is not a good game right now. It hasn't been in a while in music. It makes no sense. There's no cohesion. It's just basically, I need this, do this for me. Okay, well, I need this, do this for me. Fuck the product, fuck the quality of the music, fuck the genre. Just do it. I mean, that spells doom for everybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
It does.
Unfortunately, because of that, you're going to get all these mid-tier, never going to do nothing bands.
Exactly.
That are going to clog the pipeline because even though they're going to do nothing, they make everybody a little bit of money.
And then what happens when that happens? No one wants to listen to new music, and they just go back to what we already know and we're comfortable with.
Yeah, we'll go back and listen to some shit from 1986. Let me pull out Defenders of the Faith.
Sure.
Instead of listening to anything current.
Exactly.
It makes me sick. I hate it. That's why I still, even with, I do most of my interviews now with Chris Aiken Presents.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to do with every 2 that you've heard of, somebody that's new. And it's got to be somebody that I like. It can't just be, well, publicist needs me to interview, I don't know, Sixth Sense. No, I like Sixth Sense. I like Vicky from The Agonist. I like Robbie from Stuck Mojo. I'll talk to them.
Sure.
Because I like them. I'm a fan of them. But if it was another band, like me and you have done some, and I'll take full blame for bringing them. Fucking Alligator Blood was one that was.
That's got to be up there, if not number one. Yeah.
That was one that we did because I don't even remember why we did. I think we did it because the guy had some kind of Howard Stern connection.
Yeah, Howard Stern mentioned him. He saw him live or something.
And we were like, well,
that's what they were running on too. That was the big thing they were running on. Yeah,
and he didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So then it was just a shitty interview with a terrible band. And
was that the publicist, the one from Iowa?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a reason why I think he did that band, but I'll tell you afterwards here.
All right.
But there was another one that was through that person that I interviewed. When you were sick in COVID. I don't even remember the name. It was a one-man band. Here we go again. Remember, we had set him up. I remember one of the fans was just like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" I'm like,
right.
I know. I think I somehow by accidentally took that down. Maybe that one. I'm not sure, but maybe
it got lost. You mean
it got lost? Yes, I didn't take it down. It got lost. That's right. Or it didn't get accepted by YouTube. They blocked it. Copyrighted it, some shit.
What's always funny too is then if you goof on it, like I did with the War Kings, that causes even more problems.
Well, and that's the thing too, because then they're pissed. The publicist gets pissed, and they don't want to send you any bands because they don't think you're going to take it seriously. Again, it's like then don't throw us this crap, man. I mean, don't throw us these joke bands. It's ridiculous. I know it's unfortunate, man.
You throw me a guy pretending he's a Viking, and then you get mad that I fucking treat him like he's a Viking.
Exactly.
Am I really the bad guy?
I know. So everybody out there, if you hear us ever interviewing a shitty band or like a not very up to par. That what we think is up to par band, you'll know the reason why.
Yes, exactly.
We're trying to get someone that's much better for you.
Yes.
And sometimes unfortunately, it is a game, and we got to play it like everything else. And but we definitely try to fuck our best to minimize that.
That's
right, no doubt. So yeah. But
not too many Bronnies on our LeBron bench.
No, but
there is one or two.
Yeah, but they have a new album coming out, man. Maybe we should get them back on and see.
I
remember that one. No, Alligator Blood.
God.
I remember. I knew that was going to be a bad one when we were asking him something about influences. Something he said Blink 182. That's what we should have told us everything. You know what I mean?
Goodbye. Thanks for calling.
That was his favorite band, and his main influence was Blink 182. But they did have. I remember that band did have the drummer who was with Dave Shivari, right? He was with El Nino and MOD, and MOD was with that camp. Yeah, so that might have been another reason why I think we got them. But wow, that was
a bad one.
That was one of the beauties, absolutely.
And then the other guy didn't talk or was autistic or something.
Something, man. I don't fucking know.
He just sat there, and the guy kept trying to get him to answer, and he's just like, "Yeah, cool,
yeah, exactly." Yeah. Oh man, well, it makes for good stories if anything.
Yeah, it does.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, all right, man. This has been fun, man. Anything else you want to throw in there before we wrap this up?
No, man, it's fun. Let's do more of these, man. I miss you on the network, my friend.
I know. I'll be back in due time. No time, man. Once this movie is complete and it's just promoting it and doing all that stuff, this will be back full time, and we'll get a lot more of these going, man.
Maybe we'll do like a pay-per-watch listen or watch of the movie on the locals or something.
Well, that would be fun. Absolutely, man. That'd be cool to do. I mean, I think everyone will like the movie, and like I said, I'm gonna attach the trailer here at the end. So
yeah,
check it out. It's a 2-minute trailer, and it's got some, some good people on there. Trevor Church from Haunt, guy that we talked to. I think we asked 3 questions in a half hour. On those guys. It's got Ruben Romano from Nebula and Fu Manchu, and Eric Kluber. Everyone should know who Eric Kluber is from this network. He's a big fan. Right. He's been on the shows a million times.
Absolutely.
With all his bands. White Wizard is restarted White Wizard, which is interesting.
I was not aware that he was a White Wizard guy. Last I knew, he was doing Shitty Matt Zane, whatever that band's
called. Yeah,
that's Society One.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to say the band, but
I'll say it.
Yeah, okay, Society One. But like I said, for Eric's sake, we'll say it. But I mean, Void Vader obviously he was with, and Gypsy Hawk. Gypsy Hawk's a really good fucking band. We should check that stuff, man. But and then it's a couple of guys from down in San Diego, Nacho Maldonado from Mazoa and Kid Page from Formula 400. 2 heavy rock bands that have a cool little scene down there. And so. Yeah, trying to do a series of these, but this is the first one. It's been a pain in the ass, no doubt. Well, first movie though, so it should be. But it's coming along well, and so check out the trailer. And yeah, man. So like I said, I'm definitely want to do at least this monthly. So if we don't get one up the next few weeks, we'll definitely get up a bunch of these episodes, in December. I get some time off too.
Cool.
The week, coming up with these vacations for the holidays. So we will see more of these. And yeah, it's been fun, and we'll see everybody next time here at Aftershocks TV. Take it easy. All right.
And there we go.
There we go.
I had an interest in music always.
It's always kind of been around me some way, shape, or form.
5 minutes sitting on a drum set, man, change your life.
This is the same black guitar that Marty McFly plays in Back to the Future.
I love the feeling I get in front of the freaking full stack here, just the vibration or something to it.
I'm lucky because I do have a little bit of a tap into the Fu Manchu lore, into the Nebula lore.
In order to keep things going, you kind of have to start playing the game a little bit, like the business game.
Everybody has to get through a day-to-day. And how do you exist and how do you get by?
As far as getting people to commit to bands, it's tough to keep a lot together these days, for sure.
Still sleeping on people's floor, that's still a reality.
Probably also playing with some of the best people I've ever played with. The creative juices don't stop. It just keeps going.
For me, it's just finding a balance of how much time I'm spending with my family versus how much time I'm spending working.
It's this validation that what you're doing actually has merit.
Obviously, we're a little long in the tooth, and we've been doing this for a minute, and now we can kind of do what we want. We don't need a record company. I'll do it myself. I'll do it the way I want to.
Just always be cool. Just be respectful. Those are your people. They're connecting to you on some level, even if they don't look like you.
It's got to happen, or else I'll go crazy. Go crazy one way or another, I might as well, not go crazy if I can play music.
Maybe one day I'll have a Porsche, but until that day, I'll drive a Chevy.
There you go.
All right.